Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here you are so welcome. I'm Jane, my husband Mike does everything behind the camera. We're British, early retirees, we have no debt, we've paid off our mortgage and we live a thrifty, frugal and money-saving life here in Brittany in northwest France. And every Wednesday we invite you in for a mid-week money chat. And this week we want to have a talk with you about those hurdles people find to living a frugal life. But we're not just going to talk about the hurdles, we're going to talk about solutions as well. There are so many different interpretations of what frugality is, so I'll share my interpretation of what frugality is to us. It's about being mindful with money. It's about budgeting our money. It's about saving for the things that we like, saving for things we want, or saving for the things we need. And you're going to hear me saying this a lot throughout this video. We can have anything we want. We just can't have everything we want, and we can't have everything we want at the same time. And that for us is what frugality is. We do live what we consider to be a fulfilled and happy life, even though we budget, even though that we don't have many of the things that some people think are the everyday ordinary. Let's get into this, talking about those hurdles to frugal living and the solutions that we can find to get over them. People can have their own perceptions of what frugality and money saving is. And sometimes that perception can come from their personal experience of frugality or money saving in the past. And that may have come from growing up poor. I grew up poor. I was in the 1970s working class family in the UK. I didn't know anybody who wasn't poor. Everybody I knew was poor. It was just our normal then. But you may have grown up in poor and, like me, thinking to yourselves, it wasn't great. And I'll admit to you, it wasn't great. If you grew up without constant hot water, if you grew up where you just didn't open the cupboard and there was just food there, or you didn't just open the fridge and there was just food there, to you might have had this negative experience of frugality in the past. So you might reach a point in your life where you think to yourself, well, now I've got money, I'm just going to have all the things that I didn't have when I was young. And I'm going to share my very small experience of this. I think I got to about 27 years old when big me stopped compensating for little me. When big me suddenly got that, oh, right, I am an adult, I've got to do the adult stuff. And I do now have hot water, I do have plenty of food, and all of those things that I considered absolute luxuries when I was a child. So now I've got those things, I don't have to indulge in them. I didn't have to keep buying clothes all the time. I didn't have to compensate for that moment. I'm going to stop for a moment and keep going with this because the wind is blowing. Let's now talk about those solutions to compensating for that feeling that in the past, whether it was in a childhood, whether it was when you were younger, or whether it was in a previous relationship, or whether it was just in a period of time in your life where you were forced without any choice of yours to go without, the very essence of things that made you happy is to separate that time of then and now, to focus on the things that I have now that really make me feel so very, very wealthy. You know, I've got a paid off house. I've got a house. I've got somewhere to live. I've got all of my basic needs met. And then the part of my life where I am good at budgeting, I can say that to you all, I'm good at budgeting, and I can therefore budget for the things that I want. If I want new clothes, and I do obviously, same as you want new clothes, I've got a sinking fund for that. I've got 300 euros a year. I can buy clothes up to 300 euros a year. That's stuff I only dreamt of when I was younger. So therefore, like I said, it's compartmentalizing the then and the now. I'm not living in the then, I am living in the now. And repeat after me, I am good at budgeting and I can budget for the things I need, and I am an adult and I can wait for them. The next barrier to frugality, whether it's cooking at home, getting everything done at home, packing your lunches to take to school or work, or getting stock checks done, or doing a budget. For some people, it's about their own time management, money management, and systems management. It's a really, really tricky one for them. They're rushing out the door in the morning. They're rushing the children to drop them off at childcare or school. They're rushing back in the evening. They're tired. All of those things. And I just want people to look at the solutions and not at the problems. And I'm going to share with you just things that I did. And I did not enjoy doing any of these things, but I really enjoyed the outcomes of them. It was the fact that I never went to bed without making sure, we never went to bed. It was never always on me when we were both working full time. That the house was clean and just tidy to our standard, not showroom standard, just everyday ordinary standards, that we had our packed lunches ready for the morning, that we had the coffee ready to go for the morning, and we had our clothes ready to go for the morning. And when the children were at home for us, that their homework was done, that their school bag was packed, that their packed lunches were ready. So when we got up in the morning, there wasn't that feeling of absolute panic. And in the morning, it didn't take me, I could put on a timer, and in 5 minutes, I could peel some potatoes, get them in a pan, put the water on top of them, squirt some lemon juice in it. And I could do the same with some cabbage and some carrots, get them in a pan, put some water on them, squirt some lemon juice in it, put that on the side, take some meat out the freezer, maybe a packet of sausages or something really easy to cook for dinner that night. Or I could just get anything in the slow cooker. And I've got to take windbreaks here today. I'll focus on this a little bit more, about how I organise my weekends to make my frugal weeks easier. So to get over that hurdle, that organisational system, time, tiredness thing, I really, really, really had to make the most of things at the weekend, whether a Saturday or a Sunday. And it did not take me all day. I could literally get my meal planning for the whole week done, checking what I've got in 15 minutes. It's very simple meal planning. I'm not a chef. I'm just a housewife. I just want to get things on the plate in the evening so everybody comes home to a home-cooked meal. So getting a meal plan done on a Sunday morning, getting my clothes out for the week. I literally used to get my work clothes out to the point of on each hanger would be a pair of tights, underwear, my work clothes for the hanger for each day of the week. So I just pull it out. That's my work clothes. I would do my laundry on a Friday night or on a Saturday so I could get it hung out to dry or hung up in front of the fire to dry. Just making sure those organisational things were done at the weekend. Keeping a good diary, checking that, checking the budget. I used to check my budget and the money in, the money out, usually 2 or 3 times a week. Mike would sit down with me and we would check this through. But once it becomes a habit doing those things, and I know what you're going to say, but my kids have got things 5 times a week. Don't do things 5 times a week. Get them to focus on one thing once or twice a week. You can say no as a parent. No, you can't do that. You've got your studies to do. You've got your homework to do. Then you can go to one thing. Pick one thing. Do you want to do tennis? Do you want to do football? What do you want to do? You can't do it all. Same with us, with hobbies or things that we wanted to do. We couldn't pick more than one because frugal people are focused on that, making our money stretch as far as we can. So focusing on one thing. Same with wanting to go out and socialise and do everything. Pick one thing once a week. We can't do it all. That famous word, no, we cannot do it all. I think another hurdle to frugality, especially in the mindset of some people who might have a bad image of frugality, is to think it's all or nothing. That if you're frugal, that you never go out, you never have nice things, you don't do enjoyable things, you scrimp and save every single penny, and you don't spend any money. And frugal people will tell you that that is not true. So let's go straight into the solutions for this. And again, I'm going to have to take a wind break. Now, if you saw our recent video where we had a little chat together, didn't we, about do frugal people treat themselves? The answer to that is yes, they do. Frugal people, like all other sane-minded people, meet all their basic needs, whether that's basic needs to socialize, basic needs to feel loved, basic needs to feel a decent, comfortable level of living, not surviving, of living, you know, having a hot bath, a hot shower, being clean clothes. None of those are treats, as we discussed in the previous video. They're just meeting all of our basic needs. Eating healthy foods, all of those, all our basic needs. But frugal people absolutely do the things that they enjoy to do. Whether that is going to a restaurant once in a while, whether that is buying a takeaway once in a while, whether that is treating themselves to some kind of beauty treatment or anything for their hobby. But what they do is they set goals, they set targets and set financial budgets for those. So you'll know if you've watched our budgeting videos that we have discretionary spending 6 months of the year. 6 months of the year, we save our discretionary budget, but 6 months of the year, we don't. So within that time, if I want to go to a charity shop and buy some thrifted fabric for quilting, I do. I set aside that budget. I might go and spend 20 or 30 euros on fabric. I do that. Don't deprive myself of that. So that target setting is really important. The things that we want are there. So I really want to share that with people, that there is absolutely the solution to that it is not all or nothing. You can go out and eat, but have an eating out budget. You can go out and socialise, but have a socialising budget. You can socialise on a low budget. You can socialise meeting people for a coffee. You can socialise meeting people for a walk or a picnic. You can socialise with people that you do volunteering with. You can socialise with family and friends by saying, you come to me and I will feed you. Next time I will go to you and you will feed us. There are always solutions to this. Frugality is not all or nothing. Frugality absolutely does not mean if you are a frugal person and you live on a budget that you never have any fun, that you don't go out and that you don't enjoy yourself. It's far from that. Now, going back to my first point, if you've ever had a period of time in your life where you really haven't had enough of anything at all, or you felt deprived of all of the things that brought you joy or happiness, or at the time you felt in some way that other people were doing more than you or having more than you, when you finally have your own budget and your own money, a hurdle to frugality might be the fact that you don't want to, and I've used the word here of doing without, that it's making do, that it's doing without, that we shouldn't have to make do, that we shouldn't have to do without. And I'm going to go back to my first point that I said I'm going to say quite a lot in this video today. You can have anything you want, you just can't have everything you want, and you certainly can't have everything you want all at the same time. And part of being a fully grown up is absolutely understanding that we can go to the beach. We just can't go to the beach every day. We can't afford the petrol for that, for the fuel for the car for that. But doesn't mean to say we can never go. So it's that whole thing that I've got here about fear of going without, is rationalizing that we can go and do something once a week. My goodness. Think of little you or younger you that would have been so thrilled to have done the things that you really enjoy to do now once a week, that then in that period of time in your life that you couldn't do without, you couldn't do at all. So there we go, is that fear of doing without. And a lot of that comes from comparisons. And let's talk about that comparisons next. So I said I would touch upon comparisons, and this is something that I find quite disappointing and upsetting about some people in some countries and some of the feelings and emotions that they have absorbed. And it's feeling shame of anything at all. And one of those feelings of shame is of not having as much as other people, that shame of not earning as much as other people. And I want to share with you the feeling that I've had that has overcome that my solution for that all of my life has been the fact that I'm really, really proud of myself and proud of the people around me. And I don't know anybody who's had it easy. I don't know anybody who has had it easy. I know the people who have had it easier. Obviously, I've known those people who've had it easier. They grew up in a stable home. They were not homeless at any point. There was always food. There was some kind of stability. There was no violence. There was no fear. They weren't living in a war zone. They weren't living where they were at fear of having to lose their liberty at any stage. So yeah, I'm talking about people who had it easier, but they did not have it easy. So all of those people that I know, including me as one of them, I am not ashamed that I have to live off a budget. I am not ashamed that we only have one car. I am not ashamed that we can't afford to eat out more than once in a blue moon. I am really proud of the grown-up things that we've done to be where we are now. That we paid off debts and didn't run up any more debt. That we then used that money that we were using to pay off debts to pay off our mortgage sooner. That we always lived in a very modest house. That we bought houses that other people wouldn't have liked. That we've lived on streets that other people wouldn't have liked. I'm just thinking to the house that we live in now. It wasn't even habitable when we bought it. So I'm really proud of those things. The absolute opposite of that. And I want anybody out there who's sitting there now with 4 walls around them to feel very proud that they've achieved that, whether you're renting them or buying them or you've bought them. I want you to feel really proud of that, because there are people everywhere who's going to really struggle to even achieve what we've got. Ever. So yeah, I don't ever feel ashamed. And I'm going to share with this one as well, and this is something I'm really proud of myself for feeling, is I don't care what you've got. I don't care if your house is nicer than mine. I don't care if your car is better than mine or your clothes are better than mine or any of those things. It doesn't affect me. I don't look up to you for having that. I look up to people for the quality of their character. Are they kind? Are they decent? Are they hardworking? Are they calm? Are they polite? Are they emotionally stable in all situations? Those are the people I look up to, not the people who've got money or stuff. Now, I know, because I shared a community post and we all had a good chat about it there, that there are many, many, many reasons and hurdles why some people do not want to be frugal. But if you've made it this far in the video, I'll know that from your comment below. I want you to share with us how you overcame a hurdle to frugality and actually decided to be the person who paid off debt. How you made sure that you did save for retirement, how that you continue to live debt-free, how you continue to live on a budget, how you continue to meal plan, how you continue to not overspend, how you continue to track your budget. Share below how you overcame any hurdle that you came to. Because I'm a big believer that for whatever we see as a hurdle, there is actually always a solution. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Leave us a comment. If you're not a subscriber, come on, join the Frugal family. And we will see you on the next video. Bye for now.